What if that teenager that people label as a problem in the classroom isn't a problem at all? Today, we're going to dig into a story that really challenges us to look past all that surface level stuff and find the real person underneath. It's a pretty powerful lesson in empathy.
So let's start with a puzzle. On one side, you have the labels people see: defiant, avoidant, lazy. But on the other side, here's who this person actually is: articulate, creative, and really motivated. How on earth can one kid be seen in two ways that are so completely opposite? That's the question we're here to answer.
That's the million-dollar question, right? So what is really going on? To figure it out, we're going to follow the story of a student. We'll just call him SX. We're going to dig way deeper than the labels to get from simple judgment to, genuine understanding. Okay, let's start piecing together the puzzle of SX. His profile is just full of these contradictions that make it so easy to see one thing when, in reality, something else entirely is happening just beneath the surface. First, just look at his potential. I mean, SX is a 14-year-old with some really obvious strengths. He's articulate, he totally thrives when he can do hands-on learning, and he builds these amazing bonds with adults he trusts. He even has a clear ambition. He wants to run an outdoor survival school. This is not a kid without a North Star. But then, of course, there's the other side of the coin. In a typical school setting, he faces these huge challenges. His attention span can be as short as 5 minutes in a big class. He really struggles with impulsivity, sensory overload, and when it all just gets to be too much, his go-to coping mechanism is to just walk out. And here it is. This is the absolute key to the whole puzzle. None of these challenges are choice. The root cause is a significant medical trauma he went through, an event that fundamentally changed his cognitive profile and his ability to regulate his own emotions. So, now that we know the why, let's look at the effect. How do the adults and the systems around him react, especially when they can't see that full picture? This is such a common trap. The first reaction is to just focus on what's visible, right? People see him leave the room or lose focus, and the conclusion they jump to is simple. He's making bad choices. Or worse, he just needs to try harder. And this perspective, this focus on just the symptoms, it results in a support system that's completely fragmented. For SX, that means a school day that's only an hour and a half long, with almost no therapy or the kind of specialized support he actually needs to get at the root cause. This brings us to a really critical point. How do we break this cycle? It feels like a dead end, doesn't it? There has to be a better way to see the full picture and shift from judging the behavior to understanding the need. And thankfully, there's a tool for that. So, let's introduce the key that unlocks this entire puzzle. It's a framework that's designed to guide this exact shift in perspective. It's called the 6 Stages Framework, and you can think of it like a roadmap, really, one that leads from assumption to empathy. Its goal is simple, but so powerful: to give professionals and parents a clear path away from just reacting to behavior and toward understanding the unmet needs that are driving it. The framework maps out this whole journey. It starts deep in the negatives with dismissive and avoidant mindsets. Then it moves through this really crucial turning point of curiosity and into what's called passive awareness. That's where you know there's an issue, but you're not really acting yet. From there, you start climbing into the positives: active empathy, and finally, inclusive allyship, where you become a true advocate for change. Okay, so theory is one thing, but let's apply this framework directly to SX's story. This is where you can see the profound difference it can make in the real world. Just look at how this plays out. At stage -3, way down at the bottom, the response is just simple labeling. SX is lazy. Move up to stage 0 and you've got passive awareness. A plan might be started, but there's no real action. But watch what happens in the positive stages. At +2, the adults are actually adapting lessons to his sensory needs. And by +3, they're using his story to fight for system-wide change for all kids with hidden needs. And that right there, that is the fundamental shift. The question is no longer, why isn't he trying harder? Instead, the question becomes, how can we adopt the system to meet his needs? The responsibility moves from the kid to the environment around him. It's a total game changer. Understanding this framework isn't just about analyzing SX's situation. It's a tool that allows every single one of us to reevaluate our own approach when we're faced with what looks like challenging behavior. So what are the big takeaways from all this? First, behavior is always communication. It's a signal of an unmet need. Second,
We have to look behind the behavior to see the actual child. Third, real support means adapting the system, not just managing the student. And finally, when a parent is advocating for their child, they are a resource to be listened to, not a resistance to be managed.
And this is the ultimate impact. That shift from a negative stage of judgment to a positive stage of allyship is truly transformative. Your belief in a young person can literally become the bridge they need to cross from resistance to recovery and growth. And that leaves us with a final, really crucial question to reflect on, whether we're parents or educators or professionals. When we're faced with a challenge, we have to ask ourselves honestly, are we truly providing what this young person needs to thrive, or are we just doing what's most convenient for us and for the system?